guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, I think my camera is a little crooked. Okay, anyway, welcome back to my channel, you all. It's your girl Sydney Sizzle Sister Kid, and I am back at it again with another video. Today, as promised, I told you all I would talk about my experience at Nike from the intern perspective, because I did work for Nike retail. I don't really feel like talking about the story of how I got to Nike. I feel like it's a very important story, but it's so long-winded that I don't want to bore you all. So really, I just want to share with you all some of the things that I learned, some of the key takeaways, and my final thoughts about the internship experience. So first and foremost, I just want to say I genuinely loved interning for Nike. They made this virtual internship so worthwhile, especially because, you know, they really had to pivot as quickly as possible to really try to make sure everything was cohesive, that everybody was on a team, that, you know, even with the intern combine, everybody felt included and no one was left out. So shout out to the university relations team for really just executing and, as I said, making this internship worthwhile. But really, to dive into my own internship experience. So one of the things that I feel like I should turn this fan off. One of the things that I really want to highlight about the virtual landscape for an internship, or really just interning at Nike, is that you really need to take the initiative to be your own individual, to be a thought leader, to reach out to people, to execute, to just either stand 10 toes on your ideas or your opinions, or even just taking the initiative to reach out to others, no matter if it's on the executive level with vice presidents, or if it's even just with your co-interns. At first I was a little bit nervous to express my opinions, and I didn't think about the way in which I was expressing things until after the fact. Because when I was talking to the VP for my team, you know, I was being very transparent with him. I was like, I don't really know if the work that I'm doing is as impactful as you all make it seem. And he was like, you know, I really appreciate you kind of bringing this to my attention, because I sat down with your manager and really tried to put a framework, or at least map out how these 9 weeks should look for you. And the fact that you feel so compelled to be honest with me and transparent and open, I really do appreciate that, because many people, they will swallow the bullet or take the bullet and not actually speak up for themselves and kind of sit there and be miserable. So I don't know if he ever went back and told my manager. And nonetheless, I really enjoyed the projects that I worked on. So at Nike, it's such a large company that you don't even realize your reach, or even just the fact that your reach can seem like it's so minuscule, but everybody is so integral to the overall mission and vision of creating, you know, creating sport for everyone and just equal opportunities, etc., etc. Really, just as I said, taking the initiative and not being scared. I felt like sometimes, actually no, I never really felt scared throughout my internship. I've always just felt confident enough to reach out to whoever, if it was, you know, me creating my own app design, or even me even me just wanting to talk to other VPs. Now, like I said, it's so interesting to have these conversations with vice presidents, because, you know, they're very high up within the company, but at the same time, it's so important that you see them as your equal and not be afraid to, as I said, be transparent, open and honest about, you know, whatever your situation, circumstances, and whatever your goals and aspirations are. Because Carrie Sobel, shout out to her if she ever watches this video, you know, she, even though I only talked to her one time and presented in front of her along with other VPs one time, she really left an imprint on me as a woman, because she literally said there's been so many times when people have tried to look down on her, told her that she couldn't do it because she was a woman, but look at her now, like so successful, so accomplished, and she's the vice president of go to sales, or I think it's go to sales or go to market for Nike. Like, that is just huge. And for a lot of people, you don't necessarily see the failure, you don't see the rejection until you turn back around and someone is saying, hey, this is what I had to overcome. But even still, throughout all that, she was so open and honest about her journey through Nike. So there have been so many people that I've talked to that said that, you know, I have so much wisdom. I'm like, me? Wisdom? I'm only, you know, 21 going on 22 years old. And that's the thing. Like, as I said, you have to see everyone as equal. Because even though some of the people that I talk to might be 20 years older than me or 10 years older than me, when we think about diversity in thought, you know, the way I think is different than the way the next person may think. And so the first week on the job, they said anybody can really work at Nike, but the difference is how people think, how creative you are, and just the type of person you are, how you present yourself and show up. You know, are you authentic, or are you just, you know, a carbon copy? Ooh, carbon copy, you know, copy and paste. So it's been great to really just, as I said, leave an impact or an imprint on so many people that I never thought that I myself would ever talk to, or even just be in a space with, whether it be virtually or hopefully one day in person. The next one is just like impactful work. That's what I genuinely loved about this experience, is because I was able to say, hey, like, you know, these are some red flags, but if we decide to pivot in this other direction, you know, this is how we can be more successful. This is how we can really execute and make sure that we're delivering the content that needs to be seen by the right people. So that was pretty exciting, especially presenting it. I ended up presenting a 70-page deck within 20 minutes, y'all. Crazy things. And if you know me, like, I love to talk, so I really had to speed up, and I ended up getting feedback that I was speaking too quickly. So I did take that into consideration. But again, when it comes to presenting at Nike, that's what people do regularly. Like, every day you're presenting something, whether it be a timeline, whether it be, you know, the what is it, the holiday 21 whatever calendar thing. Like, you're always presenting something at Nike. So if you're watching this and you want to make it at Nike, like, storytelling and presenting is key. Okay, key. I'm not the best presenter, and I don't think anyone truly is, because it's definitely, well, I mean, there are some great presenters, don't get me wrong, but it definitely takes skill and it takes time. I don't know why I keep changing, like, from yellow to blue. I'm so sorry, y'all. The last one is the ability to create. Like I said, anyone can really work at Nike, but it's really about how you show up and how you think. Are you able to think outside of the box? Are you able to take a small problem and turn it into a creative idea and make something out of it? You know, one of the marks that I ended up getting at the end of my calibration, or at the end of my internship during my calibration with my manager, you know, she was saying that I'm always someone that's trying to come up with the next best thing. And whether it be something that I'm already working on and trying to provide a new way or a new perspective to look at something, or just adding my own spin and flavor to it, you know, she was like, that's the one thing that not a lot of people have in terms of how they show up and just being creative. So if you can add some flavor, spice things up, make it your own, I strongly recommend you to do it. And not everybody is going to agree with that, and that's perfectly okay, but that's what makes you authentic and makes you so different than everyone else. And my last one, the last thing I have to say about this internship, Like, they really knew how to treat us. And just outside of the internship, like, this discount, y'all already know the vibes. I've talked about it before. Oh, and one last thing, university relations, they're doing such a, not even university relations, but Nike internally, they're doing an amazing job of really trying to push for, I don't want to say economic opportunity because that's LinkedIn, but creating opportunities within the company and externally for minorities and yeah, for minorities. So often I heard, and I don't think I'm supposed to say this, so I'm not going to say it, but just realizing that it starts with the interns. It starts with people like me who want to see change. It's so much bigger than me, and I know how important it is for people that look like me, people that are my age, people that come from HBCUs, to be able to join this company and push the narrative, push the envelope for what could be, what's out there, and what's next for this company. As I said, I'm really excited to see what happens next, not only for myself but also for the company. So yeah, if you have any other questions for me, definitely feel free to hit me up on Instagram or follow me on LinkedIn as well. Definitely connect with me. And if you want to learn more about my internship experience or more about myself, like, definitely let me know. I think I'm gonna do an about me video too, so yeah, stay tuned. See you all later. Ciao.